Yo, what's good, everyone? Hope you're all doing well. So, I'm going to go through my trades on GU from the start of the week. So, both long. Now, I did go through this on last week's video breakdown where I was looking at this as my first sort of point of reference to get long from. Um, because as you can see, we had this, NFP news, which was on Friday. Um, but we had this previous break of structure above this high here. We pulled back and then we broke structure again. So it is a news candle, but it's still a break of structure, and we still have an area within here to get along from. So I was looking at this as my first area. Now I said about this area down here where price may not need to come back to because of this area here. Now we did use this area at you know, for a future sort of reference. I think that was yesterday or the day before where we got long from. But yeah, this was the first area. So as you can see, we have NFP, which, is just a news candle. We've left a lot of imbalance in this move here. Price has come back down to rebalance that. Last down candle, which is here. So this is our bullish order block. Price came in. Now we did wick below it, as you can see, but this does not invalidate the area. It's all about how price is delivered into the area, and how what the market structure is sort of telling us, because we've just wicked it, which is potentially just seeking some liquidity from this low, because market structure on a lower time frame is still intact. And we haven't really, like, if we was to impulsively come that below this level and close, then it's likely, or it's wise that we can void this area and look for a lower area. But we didn't get that. We just wicked it, and if we drop to the lower time frames, you can see market structure is still important. And if we look, this is that area here. This is just, we're putting in lower lows, lower highs, and we eventually break structure. But if I go back to the hourly, I've kept this to the left just so we can look at price and it's not in the way. But now that we've got our area to look for longs, you can refine it on the 15. This last down candle here, you can place that on as well as the hourly. But for me, if price comes into this hourly area, then I'm looking for my lower time frame confirmation and looking to get long from there. Okay, so you can see we came in, and at this point here, I'm obviously on the 1 minute time frame, and okay, so price came in, and as we know, we always come in with these lower lows and lower highs. So we have a lower low, and we have a pullback here, but really the swing high is up here. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Okay, so we pull back, and we actually pull back again, and then we break structure. Okay, so the move that caused the break is, it's not down here because we pushed up, we pulled back, then we broke this high. As you can see, the move started from here. So the last down candle refined to this candle here, and you can wait for this down here, but price doesn't really need to come back down all the way here, because the price that caused the break of structure is here. It started here. Now price did come back nearly down to this area, but the EQ, it didn't come back down to that level. So for me in this example, I will always use the area where price, what caused the break basically. Okay, so you can see last down candle refined to this candle here. Now with GU, I'm usually setting my entries at the EQ point, so the halfway point, just because the pip size is a little bit bigger. And if I was to use the top, then my stop loss needs to be this tight for 3 pips, and I'm not really going to be going more than 3 pips. Sometimes I go 3.5 pips on GU, but I'd rather set it at the EQ point and have a stop loss, protected at this low 2.5, and if it gets tagged in, great. If not, then it is what it is. So I did manage this trade. You can see we got tagged in here. I did manage aggressively because at this point I didn't know price was eventually going to go long from here all the way up to these areas. It did still look fairly bearish, but we don't know that these areas are going to actually hold. We just have an idea they will. We don't really know what price is going to do. We just trade what we see. So I managed on the 1 minute time frame. We broke structure, which caused this area here, which is more visible on the 5 minute. But then we have a higher low, pull back. We didn't close above here. It was this move. We closed above. Then I managed really aggressive at this low here, this higher low, just for 6.5%, then got tagged out. Price came back down. But if we look at this move here, once I got tagged out, I was looking to get back involved. Now the 5 minute, you can see this clearly. So if I just take this off now, we know that first trade closed in 6.5. We have this break of structure here, okay? Now the 5 minute, you can see the most recent lower higher and the visible pullback is here. Then we put a lower low. So this is the structure that I was looking at. We also broke structure down here, but the 5 minute lower high would be this level. We broke it, quite impulsively, and this is the area that I was looking at before the momentum kicked in that broke structure, which I refined, as you can see, on the 1 minute. Okay, so you could also look at this candle here, but for me, this is the candle before the momentum came in. We also left some imbalance as well, and you can see price came back into that area, and I was looking at the EQ again to set my entry. So once price broke, I didn't set an entry straight away because I was in my first trade still. Once I got tagged out the first trade, I then zoomed out to the 5 minute. I had a quick look on the 15 to see if anything was significant. You can't see the break of structure on the 15 because this isn't a pullback. The lower high is sort of up here, but that's why using the lower time frames is very beneficial, so we can get in these trades. Okay, so back to the 5 minute, we had a clear break of structure. Now I know that in the moment it's not easy to see this, but the more you do it, and the more that you prepare, it's so important to prepare for these trades. Always look for your breaks of structure and look to see what price is doing. Always zoom out back to the hourly and get the overall picture. And yeah, so break of structure, point of interest refined on the 1 minute. You can see price tapped in, and then off we go. And we broke structure here. So at this point here, we're just showing more intent. Now I didn't manage this trade at this low because at this point we are starting to see some order flow and that real shift in bearish to bullish. So I'm not going to be managing too aggressive, on the 1 minute, but that being said, once we broke structure, I did partial my trade. So I did take, my risk off of the trade and I let the rest run. So we broke structure. That was when I partialed, and I was looking at this area here. So we had the last down candle. That price, yeah, it just failed to come into. So if you was looking at that area to get long, you would have just missed out. But ultimately, we had a bit of imbalance on here. We filled that, and then this is when the momentum kicked in. So I did manage on this time frame. So we broke structure, and I believe I managed at this low here, and then as we move up here, you know, I'm running at quite some nice profit, so I'm managing more aggressive. So as you know, I manage as a trading stop loss. So this is one whole move. We pull back and we break the high. So I managed at this low to lock in 14, but you know, I have partialed, so it's not actually 14. I don't know what it was actually, to be fair. But then stop loss moved to there. We then pulled back, broke again. So I managed at this low here. I believe it was this candle. Pull back. We break this high again, but we don't close. And then I believe I did get taken out at this area here for 15.8, but I believe I think I actually got taken out a bit higher actually. I can't quite remember, but yeah, we broke this, so I think I got taken out here at this low, because the trade did end in around 15R. Yeah, so that's right. So 17R, but it closed for around 15, just above 15. And then yeah, got taken out. But again, looking back in hindsight, we have this area. Well, it's not really hindsight because it's still a great trade, but we have this break of structure here, more visible on the 1 minute. That ultimately price came back down. Now we do have liquidity as well. So basically I was liquidity because, you know, people that was in these longs trailing and stopped at these lows. Price came back down, tapped into this order block, and then, you know, grabbing that liquidity from these lows and my liquidity basically. And then we went long, broke structure, and again we have the same thing here. So these are, you know, scaling trades that you can take. Break a structure, we tapped back in. So let's just go through that on the 1 minute. You can see we also have a break of structure, and you can enter, you know, on this continuation here. Break of structure again, price came back in. But yeah, these are sort of continuation trades that you can take. But yeah, that's the two trades that I took on GU. The first one being 6.5 and the second being 15, just over 15. So, you know, looking at around 21, 22% for two trades. And then from the hourly, we did push up a little bit higher to these sort of this wick here, and then we did sell off. And we did have some more trades, but I'll go into that in a later video. But yeah, if you took value from this trade, let me know. If you have any questions about this trade, let me know as well. And yeah, hit me up in Discord, and I hope you all have a good weekend, and thank you for watching.